Good morning, members. It's 10:07 a.m. And I call this Ways and Means hearing to order. Um, Pursuant to our OGA, the notices were sent in advance to each member, and I believe to all the media outlets out there. And with that, we have the mayor and his staff leadership to present to this body the um, budget request of fiscal year 2025. Before us, too, we have OMB, Miss Virginia. She's in the gallery. And before we start, I would like to recognize some of the members that are present. Next to me, we have the, the Vice Chair, Rep. Atal. On the floor, we have our new rep member, Rep. Marisa Flores, along with Rep. Manny Castro. And across the aisle, we have Rep. TJ Manglonia, Rep. Um, Joe Flores, and Chairman of the SNILE, Rep. Sablan. Um, we do have a quorum to conduct today's business. I believe Rep. Vice Speaker Joel's in the building. I hereby excuse Rep. Angelo, Rep. Danita, and Rep. Patrick St. Nicholas for this meeting. I believe Rep. Benavente should be coming in today, and Rep. Vicente Camacho. With that, can I get a motion to adopt today's agenda? There has been motion, discussion. Ready? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. Move along to the public comment. Is there anybody in the gallery that'd like to make comments with regards to the budget request made by the mayor's office? Being there's none, I'll move on to next line of business. Mr. Mayor, if you may step forward, and your management team that would speak today, please make your way forward. And also, Miss Vicky, when you have time, you can sit in one of those chairs. Okay. 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 Thank you. Miss Viv, are you okay down there? Okay. Maybe. With that, now that we have everyone here, thank you, Mayor, for making yourself present today. And with that, I'll hand over the floor to you to make your opening remarks, if you have any, or any of your staff, actually. Thank you.
Thank you, and Jesus Masi, Mr. Chairman, and member of this committee, uh, Congressman BJ Atol, Congresswoman Marisa Flores, Congressman Castro, Congressman Mangilonia, Congressman Flores, and Chairman of the local delegation. Thank you for this opportunity. Mr. Chairman, with me, I have my key staff from different section in the mayor's office. I have house numbering, Celis. I have the HR assistant, Elaine. My budget officer, Manny Palinginan. My chief of staff and the operation director, Jojo Atto. And the dog control, Mark Palinginan. And the admin section, Mary Takai. Mr. Chairman and member of this body, let me just share to you my top three priority as the mayor for this municipality. Number one is safe community, safe village, and clean island. And that's what exactly, Mr. Chairman and member of this community, I think it's obvious. I think all of you have witnessed it, from different precincts here in our island. I know it's an every year of this, to present the budget because of the situation that we are facing. And I think this is the time to really power check the system and put it in the right scale, you know, which area that we really need or we don't need. So this is the time to really evaluate. Uh, Mr. Chairman, the island is so big. I'm covering the whole island, and I work closely with each and every one of you in this beautiful island. Every precinct I take care, and the people were so impressed. The people were so safe, and I was surprised, Mr. Chairman, a member of this body, that ever since I implement this village residential cleanup initiative, I was told by one of the public health that the health rating in the village is dropping. I was shocked. I never realized that, or maybe all of us never realized that it's been an impact to all of us that we never realized, that's happening in our community. So it's a lot of hard work, and I'm here today to humbly ask to please, support the mayor. Support the mayor. Let's take a look at another agency. I don't want to hurt nobody, but what do we really need now? This is not time about one. This is the time now. It's about needs in our community. Uh, I've been doing my very best, to promote the two major resources here in our island, which is the land and the water. We're no longer on the luxury mode, Mr. Chairman and member of this committee. We're on a survival mode. People are suffering. Crime is rampant. And this is real alarming. I was reviewing the budget, and if I'm not mistaken, sometimes in March, met with the governor, the finance secretary, and the OMB. And the governor clearly stated that it's unconstitutional to cut the mayor's salary. Even myself, I don't understand. They don't cut the governor. They don't cut the lieutenant governor. They don't cut the justice. But it's coming down to the mayor. That I cannot comprehend, Mr. Chairman. Another thing is, to cut the manpower of the mayor. Just like I said, Mr. Chairman, a member of this body, the mayor is killing himself out there in the community to promote all of this. And as I promise you all, local delegation, congressman, let me do the dirty work and just focus on financial to the mayor. That's all I need. It's my job to work with you so I can work in the community. And that's what I've been telling the people. Don't attack your representative because he's not doing the village cleanup. Their job is to create laws, policies, and look for revenue. And my job is to maintain, to promote safe community, safe village, and clean island in our community. And that's what exactly, Mr. Chairman, a member of this body, that's exactly what I'm doing with my staff. To be honest, I'm still lack of manpower. With all the demand in this island, it's a 24 hours, Mr. Chairman, people keep calling. Keep calling. As we all know, every week, somebody die in our community. Every week. And the mayor is the first responder to help our community that lost their loved ones. So again, please, I'm begging you all to reconsider whatever's the proposed to cut the mayor. And let's all work together to promote safe community, safe village in this community. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mayor. Is there anyone else that would are speaking? Just you? Okay.
Chief, you want to say?
Okay. So before I open up the questions to the members, obviously the top three that was cut is operation, fuel and lube, and repairs and maintenance. Um, I guess explain to the members and the people out there that so that they understand as to the request and how it would affect your operations moving forward, FY 2025.
Mr. Chairman, it will really impact. It will really impact. With those proposed to cut, it's going to really affect because, especially lubrication, the equipment, the operations, it's an everyday activity. It's an everyday demand on the community. Thanks God that the good ruling from the court about the coral, and that's a major impact. But I don't understand why the public cannot understand that. I'm here for this for the people. Mr. Chairman, I came from a law enforcement. I was trained not to think about reactive but proactive. I don't want to see until somebody get killed on a defective road, especially with an infant involved. That's a real nightmare for me, for all of us. And they don't understand that once you open a road for the motorists to pass through and somebody gets into an accident, liability goes to the government. It bounces back to the government. That's one thing they don't understand, either the state or the local government. And it's affecting all of us. And we're not waiting for that to happen. So again, Mr. Chairman, for all those proposed cutting, I will not support that. I will not agree. That's why I'm here to humbly ask, unless there's another funding source that will cushion, unless the local delegation for total local revenue collection on the local delegation, 100% to the mayor to cushion those cuts. But just cut, you know, I think just like I said earlier, Mr. Chairman, that we need to revisit all agencies. Maybe we have a lot of redundant agencies. I think it's about time to start revisit all these things. But for the mayor, the people need me. The people need the mayor. And that's what the people's been saying out there. They need the mayor. Even though one of the leaders don't recognize the mayor, that the mayor is not doing anything. You know? And the people now heard about it and they're very disappointed because the mayor is every day out showing up there. Every day the mayor is showing up there. Sometimes my staff, Mr. Chairman, right in the middle, the project on the street, they get hospitalized for dehydration. So these all the things that I'm doing, Mr. Chairman. It's not about RB. It's about us, the municipality. So again, please, Mr. Chairman, reconsider on those proposal cut, and please, I will make my salary to be the last, but it's unconstitutional to cut the mayor's salary, as what the governor said. So, Mr. Chairman, a member of this body, please join the mayor for the betterment of our community.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for that clarification. Also, I understand the mayor has programs. Uh, can you go over I guess, the programs that are most needed, or I guess um, the most used, I guess, out there? I know you have the DOE program and other. Um,
We have this house numbering. We have this dog control, especially dog control. I'm trying to overstretch I don't know if you guys notice it, that the mayor is stretching their field operation. It's no longer just Monday to Friday. We're stretching out to Saturday. And there's no additional payment on that. I just sacrificed to give them a day off in a week, Monday to Friday. Then Saturday have to report in to fulfill the 40 hours a week. So I'm stretching my schedules. Even the dog control is coming up for weekend. So again, the demand in the community is continue. So I cannot afford to have this only Monday to Friday, especially the dog control when they place the trap in the village and the dog, get trapped on Friday evening, and there's no dog control staff or enforcement on weekends. That dog's gonna create nuisance by continue barking, disturbing the people. So that's why I'm stretching this work schedule to accommodate those needs. Programs. I'm coming out with this summer program with your blessing, Mr. Chairman. I'm a member of this body. You know, the biggest worry that I have, Mr. Chairman and leaders, is recent graduation. 750 students were graduate high school. Last year, they were graduates 800 plus. So I'm too worried on this, Mr. Chairman, to translate into a crime. So I'm coming up with all kinds of program, especially this summer. I'm trying to create this youth program to occupy these kids, rather than just sitting down, wondering, and translating to crime. So as a mayor for this municipality, I don't see it, as a luxury. I see it with too much thinking. And thanks God that I have a quality staff that helping me. We're trying also not just relying to the government, financial, but we're trying our best to get it apply grant. So these are the things, Mr. Chairman, that I'm working on. We're not just sitting down and wait for the Sinamay government to appropriate funding. We're also going outside the box and searching for funding. So we're trying our best, and we're just crossing finger that we get accepted. So, Mr. Chairman, we're trying our best to see how we can continue to maneuver this ship of municipality.
Thank you, Mayor. Also, I guess we just had a budget hearing with Department of Labor, and they are planning to roll out the WIA again for the youth and some dislocated, I guess, worker grant. So that's something that maybe the mayor's office and the Department of Labor can collaborate with regards to, I guess, all the students that are going to be out this summer, and that's something that maybe you can discuss with Department of Labor. Um, and aside from that, any other programs that you're pushing out? I understand you're still pushing the sister cities too as well. With
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you for bringing that thing up. Yes, two city in Japan already. The Katori city established this student exchange and sister city direct with the mayor in the Katori city. And the second city is the Nobibitsu city. And again, mayor to mayor. And these two cities, they're willing to work with me, to see how they can indirectly promote and bringing the tourists back to ours. And then what they're really asking is sports. How can we link up to have these sports? We have a top on the top gym here, and I show them the picture, and they are very interested. And I also ask them to help me, help our people on farming. You know, uh, One of the city, the Katori, they introduced because I request for the farming, and they want to assist me on this sweet potato value added, and that's Katori City. They're really promoting the sweet potato, and they want to assist the municipality of Saipan. Now they're Noburbitsu City. I link up to the mayor of Rode because they're manufacturing the deer meat in Noburbitsu City. So I sent that to Mayor Aubrey Hokuk, because Rhoda knows to be a deer island. So again, it's not just for me, but I'm stretching up to the other mayors. We have established a unified mayors among all the mayors here in Sinamay. So we have a good working relationship, just like you guys, the local delegation. Establish a good partnership with you guys. And again, I badly need help.
Thank you, Mayor. With regards to the delegation, I understand the SNIOT has delegated, I guess, appropriate some funds to the mayors. Has the mayor received those funds yet? The past appropriations?
You have that. Mr. Chairman, if I go back to the program, uh, I just don't want to oversight this, the Adopt a Place. Adopt a Place program, it really helps us because the government cannot handle it. Yes, the government find money, to build this recreation, but for maintenance wise, there's a lot of drop ball on that. But thanks the business community because they start to see the value of this Adopt a Place, to help us. Uh, Recently, the basketball court in Capitol Hill was adopted by the AKs Corporation. And it's a big corporation. And there's more adopt a place coming up. Even Triple J's, they are looking at an area to adopt a place because they see the program is so important to establish this collaboration, not just a government, but to our private business, nonprofit. And that is what really I'm focusing is to have this partnership. And even, this safe community, safe village on a clean island, I met with all religion leaders in the island for the first time to bring these religion leaders and to talk about the community issues. Then after that, I brought in the different ethnic community, which these people are never being tapped, you know, to join. So now we have Chukis, Punapean, Chinese, name all this community here in the island. Now I'm working on the business community. I'm already done with precinct one business, precinct two business, precinct three business. So now the pending one is precinct four business and the precinct five. So once I'm done with that, I'm going to start doing this town hall meeting to build this neighborhood watch in our community. And the people really looking forward to see that neighborhood watch be implemented back in our community because just like I said, crime is really picking up. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you for going out the box and reaching out to the community and the businesses that can, partnership, do the partnership with you. So just, I believe maybe that's something we can discuss later, or the reports. No, is the SNIOTA's uh, appropriate funds to the mayor's office. So we just want to get an update as to uh, are you using the funds? Is it used up or it hasn't been transferred? Is it something that can be discussed right now?
Manny, those appropriate to local revenues been transferred already? Because the last time I checked, it's not been transferred.
Uh, Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Mayor. Okay, what we're using right now is we're using a lot of the ARPA funding to provide fundings for our operations. We are receiving money from the SNIL, and we will be using those fundings when our ARPA funding has exhausted. We know that rainy days will be coming down the road, and because of the language of that SNIL money that was appropriated, it says that it's non-reprogrammable and it can be used for for the operations and personnel of the mayor. I believe it's prudent that, in as much as possible, we use the ARPA money since it's available for us to use that for our operations and to pay some a majority of our personnel. Yes, there are there is appropriation I noticed from 2023 from delegations, but that that will be established as an account under the mayor's office. I hope that answers your
Yes,
question.
thank you. I will let the chairman of the SNIL handle that. But we'll sit down on another time for that. Let me recognize the vice chair.
Yeah.
Uh, hold on. Follow up.
Just a follow-up to your question about the snout. So,
And
Um,
Marissa's next.
Mr. Pangilinan, you're saying that it's reflective, the appropriation is reflective in your books or in your system, Munis.
Yeah. For example, Public Law SLL 23-1, where you appropriated $150,000 for the mayor's office. Okay, that isn't that's in the law. Okay, it's not yet in the munis. We will work on that, but that thing is available for us.
Okay, so it's available.
It's available for
Okay, I
us.
guess that's the question from the chair. We want to make sure that you're not having obstacles with those delegation funds that we have appropriated. And if you do, please reach out to us because that's our job to assist you guys on those funding. Thank
I
you.
appreciate that, Mr.
Thank you,
Chairman.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Rep Sablan. Rep Marissa.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mayor and team for being present today. I hope you guys all enjoyed your weekend. The most, let me work my way backwards, Mayor, and I guess if you want to identify which part of your team will answer the question, that'll be good. If you'd like to have someone else in your team answer the question. So, Mr. Pangilinan mentioned that you are still, or you have and will be exhausting all of the ARPA funds that was appropriated by the past administration. Is that correct?
Yes, we right now our projections for the ARPA funding up to September 30,
Mhm.
we will have $980,000 balance. But we still have some expenses that we need to put in here, such as our legal fees that we need to put to pay for that. So we're thinking of all those expenses that we can cover all the way up to December of 2026. We will try in as much to cover those expenses.
Okay.
And however, we cannot be covering utility and other expenses that are reoccurring because the ARPA, if you do not obligate those before December of 2024, okay, December 30th of 2024, then you can no longer obligate them on January 2025. So we need to obligate expenses that are fixed that we can obligate before December of 2024.
Okay, noted. Are any of these expenses salaries?
That's where we are. That's that is the plan. But as the mayor is requesting the good members here to restore to give us the 87 FTEs that we currently have. So if those are given to us and they're given to us at 100%, that we use that ARPA money for operations. But if they're if worse comes to worse, that we're not able to receive if we're gonna get reduced in the hours, I
Mhm.
have to consult with the mayor on what direction would he like us to use the funding.
Okay, noted. So it could be used for operations. However, in terms of planning and forecasting, right now you cannot say whether or not that would be used for that because
lot
of
is
all of the other expenses you are incurring, correct?
correct.
Okay.
A lot of it is contingent on the decision of the legislature on the final budget on how we're gonna use the ARPA money.
Okay. And I'm sure you have a plan already in place that was submitted to OMB in regard to how you would be expending these funds that were appropriated from the ARPA grant, correct?
In terms of how we're going to spend the funding, we don't have a concrete plan yet, but
Okay.
we have a plan in the mayor's office on how we're going to spend it. But as I said, a lot of it is based on how this body or how the legislature
Mhm.
would give the funding to the mayor's office.
Noted. Thank you, Mr. Pangilinan. I understand what you're saying, and that's a that's a big stress on you and the mayor because you have how many staff do you have overall?
Currently, we have 87 staff with 2 vacant positions.
How many do you have on the field?
We field staff, I'll let the operation people.
Okay.
I've got 49 on operations.
Okay.
DCP has
Okay.
The dog control program has 7 out in the field.
Okay.
House number?
Home numbering is 4.
So now I understand why you're understaffed. Okay. So
And also, Madam, we have also multi-crew,
oh, okay. How many on that?
2,
2. And right now at the rate we're going, you're understaffed.
really.
Okay.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Madam.
Thank you for that clarification. I think that's important for the public to know.
I just want to
us-
point out that although in retrospect, the municipality of Saipan is substantially has lower staff than the municipality of Rhoda than Tinian.
And we'll get to them when their time comes. But yes, I'm very aware of that, Mr.
Madam, I
Pangilinan.
just don't want to cross money. I just don't want to cross the line.
Right, I
Yeah.
understand.
I just want to
and-
stick with Saipan.
Yes. And I'm sure Mr. Pangilinan understands that. I understand that too. And we will not discuss any other jurisdiction or their agencies
ma'am.
until they
Yes.
come in front of this panel.
Yes.
Okay, so let's move along. Um, in your budget proposal, Mayor, for 2025, you have official representation at $70,000. What is that for?
Are you asking me on that, the official representation?
Yeah.
I'm a member of this AMIM,
Okay.
okay, mayors from Guam,
Mm-hmm.
Chile and Rhoda, Northern Ireland.
Okay.
We have this twice a year meeting. And not
Mhm.
only that, Japanese mayors,
Okay.
okay, when they come here, at times I call the local delegation to join me on hosting them.
Okay.
So those are the things that, Madam, that we're using those official representations.
Good. So it's your hosting kind of budget, which is good because you need collaborative partnership from
Yes,
all
ma'am.
islands. Okay.
Yes,
I
just
wanted
like
to
what I
clear that.
did to the local delegation.
Correct. Okay. Thank you, sir, for pointing that out. On your travel expenses, Mayor, you show 100,000. Does that also is portions? So the official representation does not include travel? Or does it include travel? Because your travel expenses reads another number.
Yes, just to share with you guys that this is the first time the cinema mayor to be official member of the national mayor. Okay, and I invite Rota, Tinian, and Northern Ireland, but they can be a member, but they cannot be a voting member because they have a quota to be a voting member in that national mayors association is 30,000 above population. But if it's a 30 below the 30,000, you can be a member, but not a voting member.
Got it. Okay, thank you, Mayor, for that. Are the costs shared between all municipalities in regard to your hosting and your official representation when you host all the other mayors from all the other jurisdictions? Do you have a cost share, or is this 100% out of the mayor's office official representation budget?
If it's hosting here on the island,
Mm-hmm.
well, with the good working relationship with the local delegation, it's always a cost share.
Okay, so
We help
it's,
each other.
so the local delegation is the municipalities of the senatorial districts of 1 and 2,
Third
correct?
senatorial district, yes.
Okay, thank you. Now, Public Law 2016. This is your bingo revolving fund. And I want to touch on this a little bit because we have noticed this year and many years that there are bingo activities that help local families raise money for medical referral purposes. Does the Office of the Mayor charge a permit for this?
We only charge the bingo operator.
Which are the big ones during July
Yes.
4th?
So what I did when I first came in as a mayor, the bingo operator complained to my office that peoples are doing outside the bingo license,
Mm-hmm.
to generate revenue
Mm-hmm.
for their medical referral.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did is, I stopped that and coordinate with the bingo operator
Mm-hmm.
to help me help those, for medical referral fundraising. So now it's controlled. Okay, so the Vegas that have this bingo license,
Mm-hmm.
they have this space in their
Mhm.
building
Mm-hmm.
that if anybody that doing a fundraising for
Mhm.
medical purposes,
Mm-hmm.
they're willing and to help them by doing that at the Vegas. So there's a coordination now. It's no longer out of hand. The other thing that local generating revenue is the cut fight, but
Yeah, that's outside my
I'm
purview.
fear.
Talking
I'm
about
fear
the
into
bingo.
that. But again, it's the 40,000,
I understand.
but it's a federal order.
Mr. Mayor, please. So you don't charge a permit for any activities in regard to any nonprofit that would like to utilize and use Public Law 2016. You don't charge any permits for that.
Are you referring the bingo? The bingo?
Yes.
Okay. Again, I am not charging.
Okay.
Okay. It's not just for a nonprofit. This is an emergency,
Hmm.
medical.
I understand.
Yeah.
I'm only guiding myself through Public
Yeah.
Law 2016.
So it's the bingo operator with consideration.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But he can charge, a person that wants to. But I ask him not to,
Mm-hmm.
but to help.
Okay. And thank you for your efforts with helping the local community in that. Public Law 2016 is very precise when it comes down to this bingo activity. And it only recognizes big bingo operators, like, someone that would like to have a operation during 4th of July. It has a set fee for that. I think that in terms of language, we do have many families that utilize this fundraising mechanism to increase funds for their expenses. Um, may I suggest, in terms of revenue generating, and you have this, because Public Law 2016 does say that they have to report to the mayor the details of how much funds was raised. In
To
any
the
event,
family fundraising or to the bingo operator?
through the bingo. Well, and that's the thing, right? you are doing two things at once. You're helping the community, and that's very admirable, Mayor. I respect that. However, 2016 also does, and maybe this is something that we need to go back to, is for anybody that would like to utilize this, right? So that we know exactly that the money is going to where it's supposed to go, because 2016 does say that they have to report this. And right now we have a lot of families not that use this mechanism, but we also have a lot of supporters that are questioning where this money goes, right? They can say it's a medical fundraiser, but yet you see on their Facebook post that they're at a bar somewhere when they're supposed to be at the medical referral. You see what I'm saying? But this comes to your jurisdiction. And maybe we can look at 2016 and figure out ways to also maybe have a 3-month permit for these families, right? At $5, at least that, right? So that we can at least account for where this money goes. Because at some point, if they're not nonprofit and they're doing this as a fundraiser, right, there has to be
Yes,
some
yes.
kind of data
I
that
totally
we
agree
have
with
to
you.
collect.
Yes.
Because one of the things that we fail is the collection of data. Therefore, we've always put ourselves in a position to not plan or to develop and design laws that lack the data to support what the intention is. But I do commend you, and I wanted to ask you about that, because it does show that there's some money there, um, and in the law it really doesn't state how to use it. So I'm assuming that you have this blanket um, authority to use it for any way that it would help support the mayor's operations. So I just wanted to point that out to you. And maybe that's something that we can come back to and consider.
I appreciate, ma'am.
Thank you. Because we've been having some issues with taxes withholding. I'd like to make sure that the mayor of Saipan is paying his withholding tax for his staff. Is the mayor of Saipan paying the withholding taxes for its employees?
HR, think you're the most appropriate section.
Yes.
Okay. Up to date?
Yes.
Okay. We don't want to have a CHCC issue later on.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, HR. Sorry, Mr. Chairman and member of this committee, my HR manager is not here today for medical reasons. Appreciate.
Okay. So, Mayor, it seems that you're on your local funds and your special funds, you've been really spending and drawing down on a lot of your funding from previous local laws that have been assigned to you. And right now, I guess, like you said, on a rainy day, you're saving a lot of the ones that have been appropriated for fiscal year 2023, just in case, because that's where it seems that you have majority of your funds that have just been kind of sitting there nicely. It's too bad that it doesn't allow you, when you have it, to put it in a bank account so that it could increase its value. Maybe that's something we can look into.
What you're saying now is, it's a time to be creative,
Right.
you know?
Okay. One last thing before I yield. Sorry. Mayor, as far as professional services is concerned, can you tell me what that is? Is that just legal professional services? What other professional services does the mayor seek for this budget request?
Yes, my attorney.
Mm-hmm.
I think all of you knows that I'm not covered under the Attorney General,
Mhm.
no, to be represented by
Okay.
Attorney General. Just like the utility that's been appropriated the funding to
Mhm.
the government,
Mhm.
but the mayor was removed because it's a municipality, not a
Mhm.
state. So again, it's so interesting this mayor office. To be honest, there's a separation, and times that we have a local delegation
Mhm.
that is really the mayor. But it's
Okay.
so interesting.
All right. One last question, Mayor. In your budget submission for 2025, you are requesting under object code 69110 contributions and donations of 100,000. Can you tell me what that is?
Chief.
Good morning.
Good morning.
A lot of these contributions and donations, our office has received endless donation letters to
Mhm.
nonprofit organizations, schools,
Mhm.
and so these are what we use,
Mhm.
and it's just a cushion.
Mhm.
However, for this fiscal year, we've been very conservative in regards to that.
Okay, because I know that the same donation letters come up here too.
I'm sure.
So, we need to be very cautious because you're asking from the general fund
Mhm.
to allocate to you 100,000 in contributions and donations that are duplicated because we receive the same letters also. So, to be very, very um, scrutinize those letters, because that's one of those things where I might actually have an opinion when it comes to advocating for that significant amount of money. And I'm not saying that to take anything from the mayor's office in regard to that object code, but the local delegation also provides, and maybe that's something that you can discuss with the chairman when you guys are asked to donate, right? It could be a collaborative effort as opposed to utilizing 100,000 when we can move it somewhere else and share costs for the long term, right? And maybe if you can set up a calendar of events for us to see beforehand, maybe that's another way for us to open that dialogue and really appropriate, right? Because it's really about the data.
I agree.
So I think that's it, Mr. Mayor. Chairman, thank you. I yield.
Thank you, Rep Flores. Rep Castro.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Mayor and team for coming up today. First of all, I just want to thank the Mayor's office for your work in Precinct 2, especially. That was a lot of trash that the Mayor's office hauled out, and there's still more. In fact, there's some couches that have been put out because I think they still think the mayor is coming back. So hopefully the mayor will come back. But that was a significant amount of trash, and I just want to thank your staff and the entire organization for helping out in especially CK. In addition to what was mentioned earlier about the mayor's, if we can look back to the very beginning when this whole issue about the quarry came out, um, one of the first things I said is, I'm on you with that. That's very true. Why are we paying for materials that belongs to the people? So I also want to commend you on your legal counsel. If I were to be represented by anyone, it will be definitely him.
I just want to share with you, as the mayor, I'm not in that office to fight.
Yeah.
I'm not in that office to build, dislike. I want to build friendship. But I shared this to the governor over the weekend. That again, there's another unacceptable statement by the Secretary of Public Land. A businessman approached her at the parking of the PHI pharmacies in Dandan, last week, and the guy says, how's everything? He didn't say secretary. He said secretary. That's the statement of this businessman. And she turned around and she said, RB, the mayor, I'm going to shut him down. Access a public land. I want to go out public on this. Okay? I want the people to come behind me so we can get rid of this lady, the secretary of public land. She's there. Too much personal. Not only me, even the Rhoda mayor. She's blocking it. And I told the people, the reason she's doing it because retaliation. Why? She get defeated by Aubrey. And me, retaliation, there's a statement, why she's doing that to me? So again, it's not about RB. Please, leaders, let's remove this secretary. Even the people of Rhoda, they want to get rid of her. Leaders, this is not about time. We're just finishing court. And she's making that statement. That's why I'm asking for a municipality to build my municipality office. Guess what she said? All of us are Saipan. She want to give me option. She's doing that. She want to make me run around. Look at that. It's an unprofessional. Unprofessional. Please, leaders, let's get rid of this rotten apple. And she's a rotten. I thought we were going to be friends. I was about to present myself to her after the ruling. I just shake hands, hug each other, and say, let's work together. But she's making another derogatory statement. Please, leaders, hear me out because it's affecting all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
I hope she's listening.
I'm gonna go back to precinct 2. I kind of forgot what I was gonna say in regards to precinct 2. But there's a pothole on Texas Road.
I saw that,
And
Congressman. I drove it after the church Sunday. And yes, I'm about to tell my director. But again, it's money.
yes,
I have to go down to Hawaiian Rock, GPPC, and buy that mixed tar so I can patch it up. Not only that, even the Slitu Road next to the college. It's a lot of, the edge of that roadway. So those are the things, Congressman. That's the reason why I humbly ask to please reconsider cutting the mayor's budget. Okay? I'm covering the whole island. Thank you.
in addition to, and thank you, team, Uncle Jojo. I always give you a call regarding that. But at our last budget hearing when we were on Tinian, the benefit about the municipality of Tinian is they have their own municipal treasury.
Yes.
So I believe sometimes that's our disadvantage here is we don't have our own municipal treasury, and colleagues, that may be something we want to look at, because a lot of the times we don't know if the funds being tapped into delegation money that shouldn't be tapped into because it's meant for the municipality of Saipan. So okay, let's
Just to let you share with you, Congressman, that I don't want to rock the boat. I want to work with the local delegation. It's a very sensitive issue, and I want to meet internally with the local delegation because there's a very sensitive part in there. Once I push that button, that's not really friendly. But again, where we are now, I feel comfortable. I have confidence with the local delegation leaders supporting me. We're supporting each other.
okay. Thank you, and thank you for the continued work in precinct 2, whether it's dog control or debris and trash removal. Our precinct appreciates your service. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Congressman.
Thank you, Rep Manny.
And if you're willing to provide tents and table service, we'll support you on that as well. Thank you.
I think that's just a comment.
Again,
Wish list.
you know, no, it's very true. Uh, I was, thinking one time with some of the local delegation of trying to appropriate funding to the mayor, 200,000, 300,000, for the mayor to service, with this, to purchase a tent and the table. But one I'm looking in the other hand on that matter is I'm hurting the business of the canopies, and who are the operators? It's our own people. Maybe if you appropriate the money to me, I can rent it from them, but not on the prices where they're at now. Because we're just like I said, that we're no longer in the luxury mode; we're in the survival mode. So again, it's a very challenging.
Chair, you.
Thank you, Rep Manny. Any other member that hasn't? Let me recognize the chairman of the delegation.
Thank you, Chairman. I just want to put some clarity, Mayor, because I heard Mr. Pangilinan say that you have total 87 employees, but how much of those from the 87 is paid by ARPA? Because according to the analysis of our budget analysis here, that uh, your total in the local general funds are 81. Is that correct? And I know that your department requests for 88, but and then the administration has just remained on status quo. Can we get that clarification because it's not jiving what was stated and what the budget analysis analyzed on the worksheet? Or maybe we can have is Ms. V still here, Chair, to
Currently,
clarify that?
So we funded 81 FTEs for FY 2020 for FY 2025, and that the mayor can utilize his ARPA, for the or other sources, his special fund for the other 7.
But my question would be on this current budget, what is the number? Is it at 87?
Okay. Let me get back to you. I have 13 under the general fund. Of the 86 employees that we have, 13 are under the general fund and the rest are under the ARPA.
So, Ms. V, your record reflects on 2024 budget that there's a total of 86 or 87?
Currently active from the munis report as of May 22, we have a total of 86 employees, of which 13 are under the general fund and then 73 are under ARPA.
Okay,
that's correct.
and then that leads me to my question that I guess it's not status quo for them since the governor's proposal is only 81. Is that correct, Ms. V? There's a decrease from 86 or 87, whatever the number is, down to 81. Because the governor's proposal is 81. Is that correct?
The governor's proposal is 81.
So there's a decrease, right? From based on 2024.
We kept them status quo from current budget, prior budget, FY 2023 at 81. They brought in additional employees under ARPA 100%, and they were never part of the general fund from back to 2023 general fund budget.
All right, thank you for that clarification. And Mr. Pangilinan, you said out of the current 87 NOPAs that you have, right, NOPs, How many of that is vacant?
There's two vacant positions.
And what are those positions that are vacant?
One is the public information officer, and the other is the receptionist.
Okay, so my last question would be, are you guys in motion to fulfill those positions at this current moment?
Yes,
Yes, because it's very important that you're coming before this committee of the Ways and Means, asking for these FTs, but it's also as important that you're trying to fill these FTs.
Yes.
yes.
Okay, thank you. I view, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman Sablan. Any other?
Thank you, Chairman. And before we move forward, I guess, can we just stick to the budget, Mayor and members? Let's not get into the local funding, because this is going to be a misrepresentation of what the mayor's actually receiving as a total budget, because we're not going to do the same thing to the first and second senatorial district. It's unfortunate that we carry a lot of these funds from the delegation. We provide our mayors, both the Saipan and the Northern Islands mayors, with funding from the local level, although not a lot, but we get them fundings. And we're questioning the mayors in regards to their expenditures, when we know for a fact that a lot of the funding appropriations for the first and second senatorial district goes directly to official representations, hostings, and all of that kind of stuff that's being paid by the general fund. A lot of them, our third senatorial district mayors, they utilize the monies that we give from our delegation for those kinds of functions. So we got to be very careful when we ask the budget demands for personnel, because the first and second senatorial district are a chartered municipality. They're under Amendment 25. They should be funding their own respective mayors and employees. The mayor of Saipan and the Northern Islands are not a chartered municipality. Therefore, the general fund's obligated to pay for the municipalities of the first and second senatorial district. And this is a big argument that goes all the way back to the 90s, when they start talking about the pensions of the respective islands. The mayor of Saipan and the Northern Islands was very clear that they don't fall under Amendment 25. Therefore, the central government has to pay the retirement pension. This was a big challenge. It went to court. They never had a ruling, but it went to court. So we gotta remember that we stick to the budget, we stick to this submission that we got from the administration, and it shows that there's a shortage of 7 employees that's going to be funded from the general fund. It also shows that only 76.92% is being paid by the general fund, because ARPA is going to cover till December of this year, correct? How much is left under ARPA?
To December.
We are.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, I was not under the impression that we're covering the ARPA employee from October 1st to December. But what I am curious is that, why is the mayor's office the only one singled out of all the government agencies to have a higher reductions in the salary? Well, everybody is getting 87.5%. The mayor's office is the only one who is going to get a reduction of 76.92%.
I do understand. You're looking at the same information that we're receiving. This is not a decision made by the legislative body. This is a decision that's been submitted through the budget process. The respective mayors are also members of the mayor's council for the budget, correct? And this was brought up, I'm sure this was brought up in that conversation, right? We're looking at the same thing you're looking at, and 76.92% is a reflection that funding is going to be covered, or whatever that percentage is going to be covered from October 1st to December 31st. Correct, no, Ms. V? Which is the same thing that happened in the last 2 fiscal years, right? That ARPA funds was actually utilized to pay for the employees of the mayor's office.
Correct.
That's why the percentage is what you're looking at. What we're looking at is the exact same thing, where there's no changes that this body has made just yet on the budget. That's why we're discussing the submission of the mayor, and obviously the biggest impact is the operational cost at $1.7 million. That's the shortage. Is the mayor of Saipan receiving any special account from the CNMI level?
Earmark hot funds is what we
Yeah.
Have you guys received your percentage from the hot tax?
Yes.
Yes, we did.
Has that been consistent, or did they just start remitting hot
They
tax to you guys?
started.
They just started.
They just started.
They just started when?
I
Last
think
3 months?
3 months ago.
3 months ago. So that would mean that we can retroactive MVA to 2018 or the 18th legislature, right? 18-1.
Yeah.
Okay. Teach, can we mark that? Get the actual date that you guys were receiving the hot tax, because is it 2% or 250, whichever is greater? Which
$300, whichever is greater.
300,000
$300,000, whichever is
or
whichever is greater.
the percentage? What's the percentage? 1% or is it 2%? 2%. So can we do the calculation for the hot tax? Retro to, I guess it'd be 2013. 2013. Yeah. And get the exact date from the mayor's office as to when was the first, I guess, the initial payments. We should be able to get that from finance and from you guys. So that, if it's $300,000 or 2%, whichever is greater, obviously we can say 2017, 2016, and 2018, the 2% is going to be greater than the $300,000. So we can start going backwards and get the retroactive payment to the mayor's office. What other than the hot tax?
I don't think there's any other, Congressman.
There's no other special that goes directly to the mayor's office,
Not to my knowledge.
not to your knowledge. Okay, so we'll work with that. We're looking at whatever 300 times. Let's just base ourselves at 300, no? Times quantum of fiscal years. We can go through MVA and do the collections, because I know that the first and second senatorial districts were receiving those funds. I think there's about 1% or 200,000, whichever is greater.
We can get back to you on those numbers.
Yeah, and I think you had a former managing director of MVA in your office that should be able to get that information as well, right?
I was just going to say, I believe during my time at MVA, all hot funds has been remitted. However, we didn't receive until this fiscal year, if I'm not mistaken, that the earmarks suspension has been lifted. But if I'm not mistaken, all hot funds to the municipality of Saipan for 2016 to 2018 have been remitted already.
Yeah, but since the inception of the hot tax, we've never suspended the hot tax. That's a guarantee. We've never suspended hot tax. Since the inception in the 18th legislature, hot tax has never been suspended. So you should be receiving the hot tax since back in 2013.
2013. Okay.
2013. I think 2013 is the 18th legislature, right? So that's the amount of money that minus office naman manayam zone. So that from the general fund can assist the mayor's office to take care of its operational costs. So that's what I think. I don't know if the chairman's going to call MVA, but I think we should have that information from you guys first before we get with MVA, because that's important that we have that information so the monies can be remitted. I mean, there's a lot of local funds we can talk about here, but I think it's gonna be unfair for this body to talk about the delegation funds that go to you guys, or if the Saipan local laws that provide funds to you guys, or any direct funding to you guys, because we have local laws on, especially in the third senatorial district, that obligates a lot of those funds to the scholarship programs and other programs that were prior to our time, and we just need to make sure that we pay those obligations. So we have the hot tax that we can work with. That's 300 times how many years? That's probably about $2-3 million possibly. The 2% is going to be greater in some of those fiscal years. I think we'll work with our fiscal analysts and work with your office to make sure that we get the dates so we can backtrack the payments. No, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Rep. Ato. Was that a UMO bill that created 18-1? 18-1. Yeah, by UMO. Any first rounders? Let me recognize the vice speaker because there's a lot of ongoing projects.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm just kind of catching up on the discussion, but good morning, Mayor, to your staff, Director.
Morning, Vice Speaker.
Just a real quick question. I just have one question that maybe is more directed to Ms. Villagomez. Just point of clarification. Did you mention that out of the 81 employees, 12 of them are under the general fund? Only 12 of them. So the rest are under the ARPA account.
13.
13 out of the 81 are on the general fund. Wow. So I guess my question would be, for fiscal year 2026, is the plan to like transition 60 some staff back into the general fund?
The plan is to transition 81 back into.
Well, right now you said there's 13 that's covered under the general fund. So that leaves about 60 or 50 some.
Current in FY 2024, we have 13 under the general fund and 23 under ARPA. In FY 2025, 81 will be
Covered under the general fund.
covered under the general fund effective January 1, 2025.
Okay, so that was for fiscal year 2023 that you mentioned, the 12, 13.
Current is FY 2024. 13 is what we have current under the general fund.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That's the only thing I needed clarification on. Thank you.
Hello? Hello. I always pick the wrong button. Sorry. Any first rounders? First rounders. Okay. I will recognize the chairman.
Thank you, Chairman. Just to add with your Vice Chair BJ Ato, with regards to delegation funds, one example is those signature events that the mayor does annually, like the upcoming liberation. Those are not necessarily embedded in the proposed budget. So those are the kind of examples that the delegation helps the mayor fulfill those signature events. Just want to add, and there's so many others, just for the members for clarification. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Rep. Marissa.
Thank you, Chairman. And in line with Rep. BJ and Rep. JP, for some reason, I feel like I'm isolated because, I think they were giving me the fair warning that I should stop asking about local appropriations. But I'm a freshman legislator. So in order for me to advocate honestly and transparently, I have to ask. So I do agree with them, and I will work with them to better advocate for our third senatorial district, because I think for a long time, We have the local delegation have been subsidizing on a lot of things, including the scholarship for all the other senatorial districts, right? But we're one commonwealth. At the end of the day, we're one commonwealth. And so collaborating and working together is important. And my apologies to my colleagues for talking about the local laws that have applied and are restricted to the mayor so that he can facilitate and fulfill his goals and objectives for any given year, right? Um, but I will tell you this much: this body will always advocate for our mayor, and we also, at least for me, I can say that I get pretty harsh with the first and second senatorial district when it comes to their municipality because I think that they could do more. But it's up to them to decide that, not me, right? And that's the injustice. So thank you for all you do, your team. And I support my colleagues when it comes down to um, you know mentoring me in what is just and what is appropriate for our third senatorial district. So thank you, colleagues. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Chairman. I yield.
Thank you, Rep. Marissa. Any other members? Rep. TJ?
Thank you, Chairman, and good morning, Mayor and staff. No questions, just more of a comment. I just want to commend you guys for all the hard work that you do. I agree with everything that you said. It's a tough job. You're one mayor. Guam, for example, has how many different mayors to just handle, certain villages, but you're in charge of the entire island of Saipan, and it's a tough job. But I think I can speak at least on behalf of the people of Precinct 5, that you guys have been doing a tremendous job in the area. People come to me all the time, and they're so pleased with how the villages are, like you said, clean, and working to think outside of the box with the town hall program to work on making things more safe. And
Yes.
I just want to express my thanks on behalf of our people for the hard work that you do. And again, we're here to help you however way we can with whatever resources you need to work together. You're right. It shouldn't fall on one office or division. And you are right. There are some redundancies within our government that we need to restructure and see how can become more efficient. And
Yes.
I really identify which departments are in charge of what
Yes.
jobs. So again, I just wanted to thank you guys for what you do.
Thank you, Congressman.
Thank you, Rep. Manglonia. Any other? Thank you, Mayor, for that. And I also agree with Rep. TJ that we need to help the mayor's office. I remember when you came in and you said, "Let me do the dirty job," and I think the SNIL the delegation are committed to that. And before we appropriate additional funds to you, we just need to get an update on the equipments as to what is working and what's not working, so that our good chairman here would fund it.
Yes, we have a lot of equipments and especially riding mowers. There's wear and tears. Again, we're just trying our best in repairing it. And the other thing is also we're looking the outside the cinema funding source, to procure equipments. And we're looking forward of getting, wood chipper uh, and riding mowers. So we're trying our best outside, just not just to rely on the local delegation or the cinema. So we're looking outside the box to see how we can, get those equipments and really to replace those uh, broken equipments. But that's where the arm and the leg on the heavy equipment to repair. We're struggling on that, but slowly we managed, to put that equipment back in place. I know the director. That's why he's out of here because every day I have to, bark at him because there's so many, just like you, Congressman. You guys a lot of also requests from your constituent, and by working together, that's the solution. So again, I commit myself to work with you, local delegation, and thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Mayor. So there's none that's I guess in operation. Everything's in operation.
There is my bucket truck now. I'm just trying my best to see how the recall, because the bucket truck is been sitting in the shop prior to me coming to as a new mayor, and I badly need the bucket truck. So there's a couple of recall listing the my staff Ray de la Cruz that spotted in the system, and we were never been informed that it's a recall. So now we brought it down to the Joten motor and to see if that's really causing the problems of that bucket truck to become disabled from those recall. So again, we're just crossing finger on that.
Any other I mean for Navy Hill, I live there, so it's taken care of. I'm not sure with the other villages. Thank you, Leia.
But again, the mayor established a good partnership with the Docomo, with the CUC. The Docomos and CUC are cutting those branches along the below the power lines, and we have an understanding to help each other. So at times you see a Docomo, with the mayor staff cutting those branches sticking out along the road for the safety of the motorists, and for future typhoon, no more roadblocks. So those are the things leaders, the mayor's really trying his best to serve the people. Again, working together is the solution to the problems.
Thank you, Mayor. Okay, and I have none further. Any other comments, questions, concerns? With that, being there's none, thank you, Mayor and staff for making yourself present today. The delegation has a lot of work at hand as to identifying funds for your office again. Uh, did you want to interrupt the chairman closing speech? Or?
Thank you, Light Chair. I just wanted to remind you, Mayor, that tomorrow the delegation has a session, 1 p.m. And if you can be present, we are going to act on the appropriation to appropriate for deliberation, upcoming Liberation Day. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Is that a commitment now? You're committing
That's
funds?
that's under announcement where.
Mr. Chairman, if I may make an announcement. This coming Saturday, we have three major events. One is the Battle of Saipan, 80th anniversary. We're gonna do this reenactment at the Civic Center, the military memorial site, for 1 hour. Then we're gonna morgue down to the American Memorial, and we're gonna have a marching by 9 o'clock, 9:30, down to the Court of Honor, and there's also a flyby. So please, there's a lot of military officials. We contact now the military in Japan, the Japanese consulate, and the other major event is after the Battle of Saipan in the afternoon. We have the kickoff opening of the Liberation, 4th of July, at 6 p.m. at the fishing base. So please, inviting all of you, and let's show the visitors that we are working together. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. With that, being there's none again, thank you, Mayor, again, and your staff for being present today with your budget request. We'll look forward in, I guess, sitting down with you one more time. I'm assuming there will be no revised budget because I'm just acting on what's before us right now. So with that, thank you again. Thank you, Ms. V, for being present. Thank you, staff. And I will now adjourn at 11:31 p.m. Thank you, members. AM, sorry.